What's up, guys? So I'm finally gonna do my review for Batman Arkham City. I know it's late, but I got sidetracked with other stuff. I couldn't play it for very long, and other games as well. But I finally beat it, and let me just say, whoa. First, I'm gonna say that this video is spoiler-free. I'm not gonna talk about spoilers, I'm not gonna talk about the ending, nothing. I'm just gonna say what I thought about the game overall, the gameplay, and all that stuff. I love this game right off the bat. I mean, I didn't even have to play for very long. I mean, it was just already starting, and I had a huge smile on my face. That's usually a good indicator when I'm smiling the whole time in the beginning. The beginning was amazing. I loved the beginning. The whole game had a different feeling from Batman Arkham Asylum. Batman Arkham Asylum was a great game, but Batman Arkham City took it to the next level. It really made you feel like Batman. In Batman Arkham Asylum, it was almost like, I mean, you felt like Batman, but you didn't get to do all the stuff that Batman is most known for and the things that you would love to do as Batman. It was a lot about just, you know, fighting thugs and fighting the bad guys. The thing that I really liked about Arkham City was showing the Bruce Wayne's past, like delving into his parents and all that. I really loved that. It made it really, you know, personal and stuff, emotional. But Batman Arkham City, it was just, you got to do the things that Batman is most known for, like the things that you just go, oh my god, I'm like freaking flying from building to building, you know, just gliding and running, and then it's so cool. It's so cool. I love that it takes place outside. That's just, you know, that's the best environment for Batman. Outside in the night in a city, it works better. And it doesn't just work better, it just looks better. And it feels better. It just feels more like Batman. Rocksteady really upped their game for Batman Arkham City because they really made you feel like you were Batman. They really let you delve into the best experiences as Batman. The combat was pretty much the same as Batman Arkham Asylum. For some reason, I felt like Batman Arkham City was a little more fluid. He has more moves in Batman Arkham City, and it just you feel like you could take on the world when you see him busting out combos. It's so cool. The blocks, they're so precise. I mean, you could, and sometimes you don't even know what's gonna happen. Like, you just press block. Like, say two guys are behind you and they're coming at you. You press block, and he takes out those two guys. It's not like he's just gonna take out one guy. He takes out both of them. It's brilliant. I loved everything about this game. It's hard for me to think of things that I didn't like. Sometimes I thought that one thing that I didn't like was when you were on one side of the city, and all of a sudden, let's say there's a side quest with Zaz, where he was a character from Batman Arkham Asylum. Phones, like public phones, start ringing in Arkham City. And say you're on one side of Arkham City and the phone starts ringing like way down there. You have to get down there in like 2 minutes, in like a minute or two. Sometimes it's different. And you have to get down there or else someone's gonna die. And you're like, damn it! And you were right by the quest that you were about to do, like the main quest, and you're just like, and the phone's ringing, and you're just like, damn it, and you have to go all the way on the other side of Arkham City. But once you start running back over there in that time frame where you're just like, oh my god, you get into that like adrenaline rush, and you start running back and you start flying through all the buildings. It's just so cool. Like, that whole frustration where you were just like, damn it, I was just there, goes away, like, immediately. Because it just feels so awesome. It feels so real, you know, like rushing to get to a certain place. I mean, it happens. It's very realistic when it comes to that. Not realistic in our terms, but realistic in the Batman storyline. I love that. So that was one thing that I was like, oh, that was kind of, but then I was like, no, that was awesome. I love that. When you're timed and you have to find the best way to get there and you're just flying and using your grappling hook and everything, it's so awesome, so cool. One of my favorite things about the game, the villains. I absolutely loved the villains, the incorporation of the villains, the way that they put them into the game. Especially for a Batman fan, to see all these guys it's so cool. And I was kind of worried about this in the beginning, and I remember reading some comments that some people were also worried about it. Was that there was a lot of villains, a lot of main villains, and they were like, what if it's not done right? And it's just going to feel like it's too much. And how are they going to incorporate them all? I was worried about that too. I was like, I don't know how they're going to do it. There's too many main villains. But they did a perfect job at it. I thought it was perfect. And just some of them looked so cool. Mr. Freeze, I've never been a big fan of Mr. Freeze. I love the story of Mr. Freeze. I love his background. But Mr. Freeze in Batman Arkham City was so cool. He was one of my favorites. His voice was perfect. And the way he looked, they just did so much detail in everything. And like the way his lips moved, they were different from other characters. The Mad Hatter, I really liked the Mad Hatter. When the Mad Hatter showed up, when you could see his back, and he just puts on his hat, and I was like, and it was just a split second. It was just like in the background. And I was like, oh my god, the Mad Hatter. And I loved that scene where the Mad Hatter comes out. The only thing that I didn't like about that part was afterwards, like the whole fighting scene. I won't go into that, but it was frustrating. My hand almost fell off. But just that introduction of the Mad Hatter was really cool. It was very short though. I would have liked to see more, a little more, or a different type of incorporation for him. It was just it was kind of pointless. So that was probably one of the only ones that I was like, they didn't do the best in incorporating him. It was very short, but the way that they included him was kind of like, it was kind of weird. So that was one thing that I was kind of like, but it was really cool. The introduction of him where he's sitting on the table and having like the little tea and all that. And when Batman like puts on that mask, it was pretty cool. I liked that. But then everything else was just like, and then it was over, and then that was it. I was like, okay. The Riddler, oh, I love the way the Riddler looks. He looks perfect. He's perfect. There was so many riddles for him. I haven't finished it. No way. There's so many. But I loved his riddles. I was kind of worried that it was just going to be picking up trophies, because that's how it pretty much starts. And you're like, where's the riddles? But later on, they do start. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And he actually like talks to you in certain scenes where you could see him in like a hologram or something. It's perfect. I loved it. Who else? Probably my favorite villain. The way that he looked, his voice, everything, his incorporation. It was Ra's al Ghul. But they were calling him, I guess you pronounce it different. It's I think it's like Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. He was so cool. I was like, wow, this guy looks awesome. The way that he looked, the way that he just looked so evil in the beginning. Freaking awesome. His voice was perfect. It was freaking perfect. Probably the only thing that I didn't like about that was the end, where you're going to use your batarang and a little tutorial comes up, and I'm not gonna say what's happening, but it's kind of like an urgent moment where you have to act like that or else something's gonna happen. And then a freaking tutorial pops up. It's like, oh, don't worry, you go ahead and like practice your thing. I'll wait. You know, you get it right. I'll wait. It didn't fit. They should have done that tutorial a little bit before. that moment. It would have been better. It was just kind of like anticlimactic. But yeah, overall, I loved it. I thought it was a really good game. I really can't think of things that I don't like. I mean, the only things that I don't like were just things that were pretty frustrating in the actual game. I mean, you trying to not get hit by snipers. And then I got hit like by freaking 3 snipers at the same time, and I was like, ugh! But I mean, that's part of the game. It's a challenge, right? I really can't think of anything bad about it. It really is a very good game. The graphics are really good. The facial details are really good. The characters were freaking amazing. Batman was awesome. Again, I said this in previously, that in Batman Arkham Asylum, his Batman gets all torn up, like his cape gets all ripped up, and as you progress. And the same thing happens in Batman Arkham City, and he's like bleeding here, and it's perfect. And there's just there's an aspect to the game that I just loved. Like part of the main storyline that I won't go into, but it's kind of what brings Joker and Batman together. It was very cool. The Catwoman part, there's not that much. I thought there was going to be a little more, but it comes in and out in the game. Like, you're Batman, and then all of a sudden you're Catwoman. But it doesn't happen often. It just all of a sudden it happens like later, after you were Batman for like who knows how long. But it's really cool. I've never really been a fan of Catwoman. Her fighting is really cool. It's very fluid, even more than Batman. She's a little faster, and she busts out these moves that just leave you like, oh my god, no she didn't. Oh my god, she did not. This game has one of my favorite intros ever. I would have, if, when I did my intros, my favorite intros video, if I hadn't played this yet, this hadn't come out yet, but if I had played it, this definitely would have been one of my favorite intros. It delved into a piece of Batman's personality, of Batman's side, a side to Batman that wasn't talked about or even shown in Batman Arkham Asylum. So it was very, very cool. I definitely recommend this game for anybody, even if you're not a hardcore Batman fan. It's a very fun game to play. So yeah, definitely, if you guys have been thinking about whether you should buy it or not, definitely get it, because especially if you're a Batman fan, oh my god, you cannot miss out on this game. If you're wondering if you have to play Batman Arkham Asylum, you don't have to. It would be nice just so that you could kind of, because Batman Arkham Asylum was a freaking amazing game too, so I would say go for it for the experience. But Batman Arkham City doesn't really, it kind of ties into Batman Arkham City, but not a lot. It's like a different storyline, but like slightly tied to Batman Arkham Asylum, but not enough for someone that didn't play Asylum to be completely confused in Batman Arkham City. So I would say play it just for the experience, and because, you know, you would notice a few things in Batman Arkham City. But if you don't want to, or you for any reason you don't, you could go ahead and just play Batman Arkham City. So that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Batman Arkham City is actually up for the Game of the Year for the VGAs. I'm not going to go into what game I think is going to win Game of the Year in this video, but I think Batman Arkham City has a very good chance. I'll make another video where I talk about the Game of the Year and all that, the VGAs. So I will talk to you guys later.